Hi and welcome to this tutorial on Infor Syteline customers form. And in today's video we will be looking at the credit tab on the customers form. So now on the credit tab you have the credit limit here. So if you have the authorization, you can enter the amount of credit which is allowed for this customer. So here we have defined 100,000, and you also use the order credit hold change utility to selectively place customer orders on credit hold based on two parameters from this customer's form. Those two parameters are the days over invoice date due date and the aged posted balance limit. So here I have opened up the order credit hold change utility where you can select the starting customer, ending customer, and you can process. So you have two: either you can put them, you can release, or you can put on hold. So going back to the customers form, here you also have the order credit limit. Now here you specify a pre-order credit limit amount. So when you are specifying, you have to make sure that the order credit limit must be less than or equal to the total credit value for the selected customer. Otherwise, an error will display and the record will not be saved. So let's say if you want to put a customer on credit hold manually, you can come in here, you can select the credit hold, and here you can select the reason for which you want to put this customer under credit hold. You can define those reasons, let's say a bankrupt company, or unpaid invoices past due by 90 days, for example. And today's credit hold date, today's date will appear here. So let's just take this out. And also so going down further, you have the statement cycle for this customer. So the statement cycles are weekly, monthly, or quarterly, and they can be used in the customer statement report to generate the report by the selected statement cycle. So here if you see the customer statement report, and here you have the statement cycles, so you can choose to generate all those customers where the statement cycle is weekly or monthly or quarterly or all as well. And then let's go back to the customers, and then you have the terms here. Here you enter or select the terms code for this customer, and this can be specified under the billing terms form. So also this value displays as the default when you enter invoice or debit transactions, and the term code is used when determining the transaction due date and the discount information. So here you have net 15 days, net 30 days, or 2% discount for a net 30 if paid within 10 days, for example. So these can be specified under the billing terms, and you can select this for your customer. And also you can define whether you want a consolidated invoice here. So if I select the checkbox, this will enable the consolidated invoicing for all orders and lines and releases subsequently entered for this customer. And also you can select Summarize if you are selecting the consolidated invoice. So what summarization does is it will combine several customer order line items into a single line on a consolidated invoice. And So that is for Summarise. You can also you define an invoice frequency. You can see an invoice frequency here. Now invoice frequencies are bi-monthly, daily, hold, monthly or other, and you can select the frequency with which the consolidated invoices will be generated. This will be for the consolidated invoice. So let's say if you go to the consolidated invoice generation, you can see there is an option for the invoicing frequency, the other, daily, weekly, bi-monthly, monthly or hold. And also you have the DO invoice option here. Now you can select single, single by PO or consolidated. So here you select the type of invoice that the delivery order will use, and you have to make sure if your customer for those customers whose countries require export documents, the default should be single. And then you have the pull-up order here. Now this pull-up, you select this field if to designate all orders for the customer as pull-up orders for APS. So this is used during the ATP CTP process, available to promise and capable to promise process. We will be looking at this when we are covering APS in more detail. And then you have the payment type here. So your payment types can be a check, draft, wire. So on the price adjustment invoice form, and also on AR payments form and AR quick payment application forms, this payment type displays from the customer's record for reference. And this print draft is when the type is draft, this gets enabled, and then you can also make this print draft option. So if you select to print drafts, you must have a bank code for the customer's bank with an address and bank number as well. So to designate this bank code, you have to use the customer bank field to set up the bank code, including the address for the customer's bank by using the bank addresses form. And then moving on to LCR required, there is a checkbox here. So let's say if I click this checkbox, so by selecting this field, it defines that you require a letter of credit from this customer or accept the default of cleared. So what happens is, let's say if you select this field, a letter of credit will be required anytime you enter an order or ship an order for this customer. And you have finance charge here. I can select this box to specify whether finance charges apply to this customer. So, and also remember that finance charges are calculated on the past due amount. Now on the balance method, there are two different balance methods. One is an open item or a balance forward. Now for a open item, this specifies the accounting method to use in computing the customer's balance. So now let's say for an open item customers, are customers whose payments are applied to a particular invoice or finance charge. A valid invoice number will be required in order to identify the invoice to which payment should be applied for open item customers. And also open item customers retain all invoice and payment transaction detail until the invoices are completely paid and compressed. Now in contrast, for a balance forward customers, they are customers whose payment apply to the entire account balance as opposed to a particular invoice or finance charge. and you do not need to enter a valid invoice or finance charge during payment processing. Then again, you have the days over invoice date, due date. So you enter the number of days over the invoice date or invoice due date. And also you have the aged posted balance limit. The amount you enter into this field will be used in conjunction with the days over invoice date, due date, when the system is determining whether to place selected customers on credit hold in the order credit hold change form. And then moving on, you have the on order balance here. Here is showing around 50k. Now this field displays the on order balance of the customer across all sites. So you have to make sure that there is a difference between on order balance and posted balance. The on order balance, if the customer displayed is a corporate customer, for example, and corporate credit is enabled, the on order balance shown is an accumulated total of all subordinate sites. So this will be an accumulated total. Now when we look at the posted balance, the customer's posted balance only displays. So it is updated during invoice payment and finance charge posting from accounts receivable. So this amount reflects the sum of only the customer's open items. So this is on the credit tab, and on our next video we will look on at the context tab.